Hey, what's happening, everyone? It is I, the man, the myth, the mustache, Tim here with a brand new video for you. Welcome to Season 2, Part 3 of What If My Hero Academia Had a Suicide Squad. Please sit back and relax because you are in for a treat. With that out of the way, let's get the story going, shall we? Lady Nagant sat seething in her chair. All the footage of Jiren had just been slowly erased. Jiren had wanted them to see just how hopeless it was to pursue. She activated her quirk, and the business end of her arm rifle began to glow. Lady Nagant was the Warden's most deadly assassin. Her quirk, rifle, was pretty self-explanatory. Through a cavity in her right elbow, she could call forth a rifle, scope and all. She could also use her own hair as bullets. Now that quirk was aimed at her monitor as she roared in frustration. Her office door then suddenly burst open as both Tim and Lance walked through. Startled, she pointed her rifle at them, only for Aizawa to swoop in and cancel her quirk. The rifle exploded as if it were a pimple being popped, and sending bits of anatomy and crimson liquid everywhere. Lady Nagant howled in pain as her arm reset itself. Aizawa then deactivated his quirk, Erasure. He could cancel other people's quirks, except mutation ones. God damn it, Eraser! Nagant hissed as she gripped her arm in pain. Serves you right for ripping me out of my class, and then trying to shoot us. Aizawa was not having any of it. Not today, not tomorrow, nor any of the other 365 days of the year. Screw those brats. Aizawa gave her a snarl. Besides, your little protege is in America right now. Aizawa's eyes then went bright red, sending Lady Nagant to her knees, clasping her head from the migraine he just gave her. I advise you to keep his name out of your mouth, you harlot. Aizawa sneered his teeth at her with each word. Fine, whatever. She just wanted the pain to end. This was the secondary part of Aizawa's quirk. He could intensify the effects of his quirk, resulting in a sudden and crippling migraine for the target. Mostly those Eraser had cancelled felt nothing. However, if they pissed him off enough, Aizawa could make the experience less than accommodating. We have information that can locate the one your precious boy is looking for. Aizawa gritted his teeth. Ever since the Yakuza raid, the underground hero had been searching non-stop for him. Team 1 is pinned down at Shoueisha Tunnel. You want me for your goddamn suicide squad? Eraserhead knew all about the commission and the Warden's little pet project. Essentially, yes, but that's not our arrangement, Lady Nagant said. The pain in her arm now faded, and she regained her composure. A favor for a favor. Forward everything you have to me. Aizawa was instantly face to face with her. It better be solid, or I'll collapse the office on top of you. I have no doubt you could, Aizawa-sensei, but you must fulfill your end as well. She then gestured to Tim and Lance. Take them with you. Hawks is unconscious and needs to be extracted ASAP. Then, you will take over as commanding officer over Team 1 till the mission is complete. Objective? He turned his back on her, sending a shiver up her spine. Locate, secure, and retrieve the Meta Liberation Army's second-in-command, Kazuki Chitose. Codename, Aizawa cut her off. Curious, Aizawa said with a low growl. This really is a suicide mission. The fact that he knew impressed her to no end. It was a pity he wanted no part of their, well, the Warden and hers, little rehab project. The Commission may foot the bill, but the Warden and her ran it with little to no oversight. That was Black Ops for you. They all are. Tim and Lance will show you to the lockers. We have provided you with MLA disguises and a vehicle with medical equipment and the bots to get Hawks out of there. With that, she dismissed them promptly. Time was already against them. Bring me back my plaything. Tim and Lance quickly escorted Aizawa directly out of Lady Nagant's office, past the admin, and directly to the guards' locker rooms. Their uniforms were already there and folded neatly on the changing bench. It did not take long for them to change and get to the underground docking bay. Aizawa and company entered the room that housed all of Bad Company's vehicles. Before them was a large armored truck, the kind that were used to transfer money or precious cargo around. It was black, with 6 tires, 4 of which were dualed together. Tim took the driver's side while Lance rode shotgun. Aizawa was in the back with medical equipment, most of which he had never seen before. Just how advanced is this equipment? The underground hero thought, as he was suddenly jolted back against his seat. The armored vehicle accelerated from 0 to over 100 in less than 10 seconds. Soon, Tim was weaving around the various tunnels before reaching the end and launching onto the main road. Hollow projectors and sound camouflage activated. The vehicle now resembled just a regular ambulance with its sirens blaring as it sped its way through traffic. Hey guys, it's Tim. I'm driving right now, but I'm gonna talk to you about this sponsor. We're sponsored by NordVPN today. That's right. Staying safe online is an ever-growing difficulty, and hackers could exploit you. NordVPN allows you to change your IP address, making you harder to track, securing your privacy. In addition to providing you with safe passage through the web, you can also expand the reach of your favorite streaming services. Ooh, I like that. Are you tired of getting through 2, 3, or even 4 streaming services to watch your favorite anime? Well, with NordVPN, you can change your country and be able to binge shows like My Hero Academia, Naruto, and many others for your favorite streaming services with just a press of a button. Check out the link in the description to get 72% off when buying for 2 years at $3.29 a month. This deal is for a limited time, and thank you once again to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. I'ma keep driving now. Bye! At Shoawaisha Tunnel, the USJ Nomu was on a rampage. The sudden disruption of communications with Tartarus had rebooted it to a blank state. The scanning look it gave was Lady Nagant trying to regain control of it. Warbled roar after warbled roar only served to cause the Meta-Liberation Army to maintain suppressing fire. The MLA had detailed files on the League of Villains roster and Rogues Gallery. That being said, the monster in front of them was on the very top of that list, for it was meant to take out All Might. Round after round, various calibers of ammunition only dropped to the tunnel streets, creating mounds of brass and bullets in their wake. One more warbled roar, and a squad of MLA soldiers were eradicated. Some of them were not even given the chance to scream, as the Nomu made short work of them. For the first time in his life, Buzzard was frozen in fear. It was like looking into a dirty, cracked mirror. Its howls and screams, along with its warbled roars, caused him to shiver. Snap out of it, asshole! Plague Raven leapt back, giving the Nomu a wide berth. Muscular, get your shit together! Buzzard was struggling to regain his composure, but the Nomu terrified him. He had seen how it was made, what the symbol of darkness all for one's process was. He could not move, escape, or even speak. His mouth was dry, his eyes wide. Plague Raven's words were nothing more than white noise. Outside the tunnel, Robin and Pretty Bird were slowly losing ground as more MLA backup arrived. My dear La Brava, Pretty Bird began a mental letter to his beloved companion. I know of your feelings for me. I have read your dreadfully lewd fanfiction of me. Pretty Bird bounced a soldier off of his trampoline into the waiting blade of Robin. The burst of crimson just missed Gentle's pristine uniform. The proper gentleman managed to stay clean the entire battle. As flattered as I am, we cannot be so. At least, not like that, my beautiful La Brava. So brave, so kind, my light in the dark. Pretty Bird was lost in his thoughts as he dodged a combat knife, drawing his own rapier. My age and my dear La Brava, let us just say my gait swings to the opposite of yours. Gentle took a bullet to his leg as he launched the rapier like a javelin, terminating his shooter. Robin saw the small burst of blood. They both land back to back. The MLA surrounded them as Robin passed Gentle a rag to tie off his wound. Gritting his teeth, Gentle quickly tied it off. "Despite my fancies, I do indeed love you, my dear La Brava." Gentle pulled his hand back as Robin handed him one of his many kunai. "Despite our circumstances, it was an honor to fight alongside you." Surprisingly, Robin cut him off. "Akagoro Chizome." The hero killer's voice was not rough, but pleasant. It struck a chord in Pretty Bird. Respect? "Tobita Danjuro," he replied, his voice just pleasant and with the same response of respect in his voice. "It's been a pleasure to meet your acquaintance." "Tell me that when we get out of here." Robin smiled, as a smile cracked across his lips as he raised his weapon. "As you wish, my dear sir," Gentle said, as he and his new acquaintance, Kaguro, got into their final fighting stance. With a flex, Gentle made a trampoline, and they both launched themselves in the opposite directions, charging their opposition. Bullets and quirks activated as Robin and Pretty Bird got to work. Robin launched a kunai at Gentle Criminal, who caught it and stabbed a soldier on the turret. He then tossed the kunai back at Robin, who in turn caught it and tasted the quirk activator upon it. The soldier dropped as Gentle knocked him out. He caught another kunai and repeated his actions. Soldiers were falling by their hands as the two worked in tandem to quell the masses. However, they were quickly becoming overwhelmed, for they had kicked the hornet's nest real good. In the tunnel, Plague Raven and Buzzard were not faring any better. The enemy was down, but now they were engaging the USJ Nomu head-to-head with its growing madness. Plague Raven was now pinned on the ground. The Nomu then dragged him up and threw him at Buzzard. Upon impact, Buzzard snapped out of it. He caught Plague Raven and shook his head, placing him down on the ground. "Thanks, Merc." Buzzard was still terrified, but he was tired of playing the role of a bitch. "But I am done with this and your shit monster!" The Nomu gave a warble roar, but Buzzard dashed forward, sending his fist down its throat. His hand gripped its vocal cords, and he pulled them out. As for the bomb in his head, it did not go off, because the Nomu was reset by the communication scrambler the MLA used. The Nomu was taken back. The black liquid that replaced normal blood was now shooting out like a geyser from its mouth. Buzzard then used his same hand, sending it deep into the Nomu's lower torso. It was absorbed via one of his several quirks. The black liquid ceased its downpour as the Nomu healed almost instantly. Buzzard struck it again and again, adrenaline coursing through his system. Each blow got stronger and stronger as Buzzard kept adding more and more muscle fibers onto his arms and shoulders. He had to hold out. Buzzard could not sway, for their backup was on the way. "You sick abomination!" Buzzard shouted as he sent an uppercut into the Nomu's jaw. The impact launched the Nomu up into the tunnel ceiling, leaving him dangling and struggling to free himself. Buzzard then heard an explosion outside. Outside the tunnel, Robin and Pretty Bird were on the ground, spent. There were still several soldiers surrounding them when an armored truck plowed through the barricade in an explosion. Gentle and Robin just looked at each other, then closed their eyes. The armored truck then drove past them and into the tunnel. What they did not see was Eraserhead leaping out of the armored vehicle. So, the hero killer and the UA's intruder. Aizawa had arrived as they opened their eyes. He was wearing a backpack and had a very large familiar weapon in his hands. The two villains then immediately closed their eyes again as Aizawa unleashed his weapon. It was the Hermit. It struck one soldier and then chained its light into the others, wiping them out. The Hermit had done its job. The MLA soldiers were all knocked out, not retired. Aizawa was not that ruthless. Trash taken out, he turned towards the two criminals before him. The others are... Aizawa paused mid-sentence as the armored vehicle sped past him. Problem fixed. You're in command now. Tim called out from the driver's seat next to Lance. "The Nomu was under your command." At this, Aizawa's eyes widened. A Nomu? "Now complete the mission." The underground hero then walked towards the tunnel slowly. Something felt off. An uneasy feeling that was slowly making its way up his spine. He knew that Bad Company was a team of inmates from Tartarus. However, which ones, he had not the slightest idea. It was a mess inside the tunnel. Bodies littered throughout, the area was closed off, and normal traffic redirected. Suddenly, the other two villains came around the havoc. At the sight of them, Eraserhead became filled with utter rage. "Muscular." Saying his name, Aizawa flashed back to his class's training camp. However, that was all forgotten when he saw Overhaul! And that is our video for the day, so thank you all for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed it. Now before I go, there's a little bit of housekeeping to go over. First, if you're in the mood for some more great storytelling, then We the Celestials has you covered. Our We the Celestials, My Hero Academia, and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Second, on behalf of We the Celestials, I also want to thank everyone who was involved in today's excellent content production. Give the writer, the audio editor, and the video editor some love. Their details can be found in the description below. Finally, if you like what we do here with the Celestials, then I want to give an invitation to join our team. We only have one caveat: you must be 16 years or older to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fills your interests by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. But that's it for today's video, so thank you all for watching and have an amazing day. And as always, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and stay awesome. This has been Tim, Mustache out.